thanks for stopping back by Wild Bird Creative. I'm diving right in today to my mini journal. I've got some paint that I was using in another project and I want to use it up. It is a mix of violet, alizarin crimson, and a metallic copper. So it is a bold color. And I'm not going to let it go to waste. Just going to work my way around the page here. Using my Sean Petit stencil. Let me carefully lay this back down. It can get a little hard to hold these sometimes once they get a lot of paint on them. But I'll manage. I'll work my way through it. This is a much bolder background than I usually start with, but as I said, I hate to let paint go to waste. So there we are, and I'll take this and of course roll it off on another sheet. And then I'm just going to set that aside. Bring this back in and keep moving on through the creating. I'm not quite sure what I want where on these, but you know what? Sometimes when you're just having fun and squeezing a little creativity into your life, it doesn't really matter. You're just trying out different things and having fun. There we go. That's a nice color on that. I've got scraps everywhere on the table, so it's really no problem finding stuff to put down. Let's see. Let's grab another matching piece for over here. And those will be my two edges. Let's tuck it right up there. I'll come back once it's all dry and trim up the excess here and here. But right now, we're just going to keep moving. Let's put a little one right down through there. Fill that spot in. I enjoy this little journal so much. It's just the right size for when you only have a little bit of time and you really want to focus on what you can create. This is the perfect one. Let's come in. Just tear this along here. We'll put it right down in there. It'll fit beautifully. Work that right in. I don't want it too tight to the fold because I still want to be able to close the journal. But this gives me enough interest to start with, and I'm going to move on from there. I'm not quite sure where I'm going with things yet, but I see that my color palette is kind of coming together all on its own, just based on what was lying here on my table. Just going to rough this one edge up. I'm tearing a little tiny strip off it. then just to make it a little different, I'm going to put it running vertically. There we go. Oh, I like how this looks. Let's see, what else is lying here on my table that might be interesting? Need the right colors. Got so many papers down here. Let's see. This is how you end up with tons of papers everywhere. You just keep tearing things up and setting them aside. And then you turn around and you're like, holy moly, do I have a lot of papers lying here. I like that, but I think I might already have enough turquoise in here. So let me keep just digging through. I've got just a piece from a magazine. I kind of like that one. And let's see, I've got another one right here. Let's do those. These are from just some magazine pages, and I did a roll-off of a Stencil Girl Products stencil, the Scribble one. There we go. And I think I'll put this one down. Whoops. Getting glue on my fingers. Okay, let's give everything a good press here. Grab my brayer. Press everything down. It's nice and dry too. Set my glue stick aside, and I think it's time to bring in another stencil. I've got my stencil. This is from the Crafters Workshop, and it says 248S if you're interested. And I've got my black. You know what? I'm going to grab a smaller sponge. I'm going to go with one of my almost worn out makeup sponges because I want a little more control over this. And I am just coming in and moving randomly across the page. And I'm letting the sponge run out of paint on its own, so that I end up with an effect that has a gradient to it. This can be a hard stencil to use because it can be hard to envision how it's going to look as you're using it. You have to practice, and you have to accept that it's going to look the way it looks. And it's okay. Your journal is all about experimenting with different ideas and techniques and trying things. Let's come right through here and just put a few more. I want some on that blue. I want that blue brought down just a little bit. There we go. And let's come right through here. Now it's going to be more of a gray because I don't have as much on there. But see the way it softens where it gets really light? So you've got a very graphic image and then a very soft one. Now this I'm going to just turn the whole thing so that I'm working with my dominant hand. And I think I will turn the stencil this way and go darker in the middle and then have it bleed out towards the edges. Kind of a reverse on this side. Now this stencil is great if you want to do a collage and have a city feel at night, because these make wonderful little yellow lit windows. Just something to keep in mind. Let me get some more on here. Come on through my edges. And I still have to get up here. And I want, these are so tiny, I want them to be dark. Okay, let's see what we've got. Oh, terrific. Let's turn it back, right side up. Let's just keep our little sheets in here. And let's do, I feel like I want something gold in here. So I think what I'm going to do is just bring out my metallic gold paint and just get, do I want a stamp or do I want a stencil? You know what, I kind of want a stencil. I'm going to grab my Stencil Girl one, and I'm going to use the same sponge actually, because I don't want this to be too strong. I just want a little bit of glitz, and the remaining black on the sponge will just help tone down the brassiness a bit and just give me just that hint of shine. Yeah, there we go. Let's come up here and just get this corner too. And then just some right in here. There's no rhyme nor reason. It's all just fun. Yeah, there we go. That gives me some nice shine. Let's put it right here. And just come in and do the same thing. The thing that's nice with this stencil is you can really see what you're covering. So you know immediately where you are on the page. Some of the ones that have smaller details, it can be a little more difficult, a little more of a learning curve. Let's bring it right up through there and across the top. Okay, there we, oh, you know what? I want a little bit, let me line that back up. I want to put some right here. I like that little star shape, but I want to highlight it a little bit more. Right on that blue. There we go. Breaks that up just a little bit. So there we are. Still going to leave the pages in there. Let's see what we can find to put on here. Oh, I've got so many words in my bin. It can take a while to go through, but as soon as I find it, I know. It just pops out at me. Kind of like that one. Like how bold it is. Keep looking here. This one I'll use at some point, but it's just so big. I'm not sure where that is going to end up getting used. Oasis. Timeless. Got some big ones that are waiting to be used. Tougher. Ooh, Replenish looks nice. Creativity and Resilience. Now I'm getting too many on here. Value. Oh, here we go. There's what I'm going to use. Set this aside. We'll use this quote. Done is better than perfect. Grab my glue stick. Just set these aside. I will trim them up and get a final picture for you. And probably once I trim this up, I will darken the corners with my art crayon. But you don't need to see that. I can do it over here and show you right now. It's just a matter of coming in, coloring, and then blending. That's all it is. It just brings down some of the whiteness, draws your eye into the center. There's no real skill needed. You can see it's just simple. It can come right across the top. And after a few hours, this will no longer smudge. That's one thing that's really, really nice about it. But let me trim these off, and I'll hold it up so you can get a closer picture.